Hey folks, Crazy Climber 80 here again. And this time we're going to look at a game called Snow Brothers 2 with New Elves. This is also known as, Tankomori Paradise? But this is a sequel to Snow Brothers, the original game, Snow Brothers Nick and Tom, which was created by Toaplan. And this was created by a different company, but licensed to Toaplan. And it is a very, very weird game. You can play from 4 different players. The company that originally made this was called Hanafram in 1994, and it was licensed to Toaplan. But you can play as all 4 players at once if you like. And they have different abilities, but they all basically do the same. And Snow Brothers, and this is basically a takeoff of Bubble Bobble, which was, super popular. And in this one, you can pick from 4 different characters. And it's some of the characters are just creepy ugly. There's Nick the Snow Kid, and he was Nick in Snow Brothers, the original game. And he can create snow just by pressing the button, and you turn enemies into snowballs. And then you can stand on the snowball, you can jump on top of it, and then press the button and kick it, or you can just push it by running up to the snowball and pressing the button. There's some ugly, ugly, ugly characters that you can choose from. Fortunately, their smaller counterparts are not nearly as ugly. They're real game counterparts. Early on, at least, I would recommend, just to build up your score big time, going to the top and taking out the enemies, knocking them down below to the enemies lower to get a huge ass score. Just like this. Boom, boom, boom. And then that way you can get these letters to fall, or these notes or whatever that is, piece of paper, and you can get tons of points that way. And there's sometimes treasure boxes, and sometimes there will be icons from defeated enemies that can give you faster speed, or you can shoot faster or whatever. To get items from the enemies, you often have to destroy a certain amount of them. There, I got 3 of them, so I got some bonus items for extra points. You don't have very good jump ability at all. You can't jump worth beans. So sometimes there will be platforms that are just too high for you to jump up to. And in order to get up there, you have to turn an enemy into a snowball, then jump on top of that snowball, and then you can maybe make the jump to the next platform. I never saw this. I did see the original Snow Brothers. It was fairly popular in the arcades. There's a speed up icon. There will be boss fights at the end of each world, and there are, I think it was like 5 different worlds, 5 or 6. And you have this creepy looking gal you need to save. But yeah, early on at least, try to take out as many enemies at the top by on the screen with 1 snowball by going to the top and knocking a snowball down to the others. Now here is the first boss, and it's this slot machine with a mouth. And he spits out these enemies. And the general way to kill these bosses is to snowball the enemies, the little enemies, and then shoot it your shots won't necessarily always have an effect on the boss. On at least the last one, you can take off a sliver of his energy by shooting at him repeatedly. But I don't know about the other bosses. But this is the best way to hurt them. I hate that you can't tell what floor they're gonna fall to. They might fall on the one that you're on and just go through floors just to land on you. And yeah, one touch and you're dead. Ah, crap. But yeah, turn those enemies into snowballs and kick them at the boss. Just die already. But the boss characters will find a way to shoot out little enemies at you. Dang it! Need this guy to drop far enough. There we go. And you can go down, and sometimes the boss enemy will spit out a bunch of prize items you can pick up. I'll show you all the characters that you can play as. Where she gets abducted by a train. The characters in this game are just ugly. But the title, The New Elves, I'm thinking that refers to the characters that you can choose from, other than, what was it, Tom from the first game? Yeah, you can get trapped in your snowball, not that that'll hurt you or anything, but you'll just keep flying around. And some of the enemies will have letters, and you'll want to try to collect enough of them so you spell extra, then you get an extra life. There will sometimes be platforms that you'll stand on, and they'll fall once you put weight on them. Yeah, enemies can drop to lower floors, they can jump up to floors, and they'll usually pause just before they do that. There will be different kinds of enemies later on, and that guy can fly down at you, so you gotta watch it. But yeah, early on, get the enemies from above and knock them down to the lower floors so you can get a really nice bonus. That guy at the top, you don't have to kill him. Ooh, that was nice. Look at all those extra points I get. Yeah, that guy at the top, you didn't have to kill him. There, I got a speed up icon. Like I said, I'll play as all the different characters in this game. And there I got my extra life by collecting all the letters. Then the level will end, and then you can skip to the later levels. Oh, that wasn't too bad. Now, these enemies can turn into a tornado and fly at you and kill you by touch like that. You get extra points, or extra lives, by accruing a certain amount of points, I think. Maybe not. I don't remember for sure. And now here is another boss. And he's the train that abducted the princess, I guess. You have to snowball up his lackeys and then shoot them at him. And his nose fires off a missile at you on occasion. And you can't really jump over it. So you'll need to avoid it big time. This game is just so weird and kind of creepy at times. Dang it. Come back here, dude. There you go. came from the other side. And sometimes the enemies will charge at you, the boss enemies, so watch out for that. Ah, crap. Just die, please. One more hit. There we go. He's spitting out these food prizes for me. Oh, they didn't last long, did they? He shoots the princess out, and then she's in a cage. Now we go to another island to rescue her. Now I think from this point on we're just gonna, we might just kind of like skip ahead to later parts in the game. Eventually I put on invincibility. There are a couple islands or stages or whatever where you are forced to go up. You have to go up, and once you reach the top there's the boss, and that's the whole island or whatever. You have to watch out for these statues on the sides that are spitting fireballs at you, and you have to watch out for these logs or whatever they are, boulders, and jump over them Donkey Kong style. And there will be times where you have to turn an enemy into a snowball and jump on top of them, and then jump off to get to higher areas. But yeah, not all the characters that you can choose from will fire snowballs. In fact, I think Tom here is the only one that can do that. If you fall into the abyss or the bed of spikes below, then you'll lose a life. Yikes, crap. He burned me. But once you reach the top here, you'll face the boss. Ah, goddammit, I wasn't ready for that boulder, I guess. You can destroy that guy that's rolling the boulders. Or I'll put my initials in. I neglected to continue right here, but we will eventually look at the later parts of the game. But yeah, this is kind of a creepy looking... I mean, at times it's cutesy, but when you see the profiles of the characters that you can choose, you'll be like, ah, yuck. Yeah, Hanafram. I don't know what else they made. Here is one of the other guys. He shoots like lightning. Zaps the characters with lightning or something. And you can jump onto the lightninged characters. I don't know what else to call it. There's a nice bonus. Now here is... Oh, you don't face a boss here, I don't think. I think she just flies away, yep. Now we'll move on to the next island or whatever. I like this part. Tom kicks a bomb onto the rocket ship, taking her away. And then some lizard thing catches her with its tongue. And you will have to face that lizard thing, actually 2 of them, as the boss on the next series of stages. Still a weird game. Well, this was suggested by YouTube user Martin Hernandez. I'm just showing you clips of each of the other characters. And this one has water powers. You can fall through the bottom to the top, just like in Bubble Bobble. I'm just showing you snippets of the later levels. And these guys fly around. Oops, and some of them can shoot. And then this guy makes tornadoes out of the enemies. But those are all the characters that you can choose. And I guess I prefer Tom from Snow Brothers, the original game, over all the other characters. I definitely never saw this in the arcade, and this might not have appeared in US arcades. I don't know, maybe this was just in Europe and Japan. But again, this was created by the company Hanafram and licensed to Toaplan, who created the original Snow Brothers. But this just has creepy designs on the character profile for each character. And now here are the lizards, and they excrete. Maybe they are supposed to be some sort of frog, it's hard to tell, but I think they're lizards. And they excrete the bad guys out of their backs, these little droplets. And I'm just going to scoot forward and show you what it looks like to destroy them. See his ghost fly away. But you destroy one at a time. And now they carry the princess away again. And we go to the next island or whatever. Almost finished with the game. We just got one more level to go through, or one more setting. But I put on invincibility by this point, just because I wanted to get through the game quicker. Like I was mentioning before, I think the last boss, you can destroy him one of two ways. On this stage, there are a couple warp doors. See? And again, there are those cannon things that fire off the barrels. But yeah, the final boss, don't fall in that fire pit. The final boss will, you can destroy him by blasting him with his cronies, or you can knock him off the ledge, and he'll die. This boss cracks me up. It's got a rabbit shaking its butt at you. And you destroy these gift boxes enough so that they'll release enemies that can be turned into snowballs. And kick the snowballs at the rabbit, who shakes his butt at you. And then you have to watch out for this spiked wall that can sometimes snake out and stab you. And we got some more prizes launched in the air. And now we're about to go to the final area. And this final area is just one stage. And you have to go up a long flight of platforms to reach the top. And once you do, you take on the final boss. Weather world map. I sure have never seen this one before. It's a friggin' weird-ass game. Sometimes there'll be platforms you have to jump on that will disappear. And again, there will sometimes be times when you have to shoot an enemy enough so that you can jump on top of them, and then you can make it to higher ledges. Since these enemies keep coming out of these mouth things, you could spend some time and get a lot of bonus points. But yeah, you'll of course lose a life if you fall into that fiery abyss. Here's the final boss of the game. He's this weird sun face. And again, there are a couple ways that you can defeat him. If you let him shoot an enemy at the princess, nothing happens. It's just flying around on her face. If he shoots fireballs at the princess, that doesn't hurt her either. So don't worry about her hanging perilously over that abyss. Nothing's gonna happen to her. Just take out the boss. sometimes he'll shoot an enemy at you that you can turn into a fireball and shoot back at him, and sometimes he'll shoot fireballs that you have to get out of the way of. And here's one method of destroying him. Hit him enough so that his power meter is 0. Look how much bigger the princess is than Tom. Now we'll look at the ending here. Everybody escapes from the island. What the hell are they doing? They're like wringing their wrists at her. What the hell is that? And now we'll see the bosses from the game, including the weirdo sumo wrestler train guy and the lizards. This is definitely a playable game. The rabbit shaking his booty. This is definitely a playable game, but it's weird, and some of the graphics are just creepy. And there was the sun boss at the end, and this guy flies off, and I guess she gets kidnapped again, or no? I guess so. Well, here's the other way of defeating him. You can just keep shooting him, and his energy will eventually drop down bit by bit, and it'll make him back up, and he'll roll off the edge and fall to his death like that. That is Snow Brothers 2 with New Elves by Hanafram and licensed to Toaplan in 1994. This is Crazy Clown Racing. Thanks for watching Snow Brothers 2 with New Elves by Hanafram and licensed to Toaplan in 1994. I will catch you later in the future with another video. Y'all have a good one. I'll see you later. Bye, folks.